Hello, I'm Brandon Doyle, and this is my second assignment for Class 218 for Pump Shotgun Armorer. Today is November 4th, 2025. Let's get started. All right, today we're going to go over the 8 steps in the cycle of operation for a pump-action shotgun, as well as the components that it works off of. But first, we got to clear the shotgun. What I'm going to do is going to push down on the action locking lever right over here, right underneath by the trigger guard. This way, we're not going to press the trigger over here to unlock it, because always treat the firearm as if it's loaded. Press down on the action locking lever to release for the action of the forearm, allowing for the bolt assembly to move, as well as all the other components such as the trigger assembly from the hammer and sear when the action arm is pushed back, all the way to the bolt and the bolt lock as it goes into the chamber lock. All right, now first, pull it back, check for the chamber. We're going to work the action a couple times to make sure that there's no cartridges in there. Put the finger in there, check visibly, make sure that there's nothing in there. Nothing in there. All right, now that we know that there's nothing in the shotgun, we can get started with the cycle of operations. All right, now that we know we have cleared it, we're going to use these snap caps as a way to demonstrate the cycle of operations. First, we're going to load it into the magazine as such. Now, the thing keeping these from coming out is called the cartridge stop. The thing that will be tripped as we pull the action arm back. About 90% of the way there, as you see, it is going to trip the elevator that's right underneath here. Once it's tripped, it is going to trip the cartridge stop as well as the cartridge interrupter. This will allow the cartridge to come out, but keep the other cartridge from coming in as well onto the elevator. As you see, it was about 90% of the way, probably 95%. All right. As the action arm came back, it tripped the elevator assembly, which as well tripped the cartridge stop to allow the cartridge to feed into the receiver from the magazine via the follower and its magazine spring, pushing it in. But because the cartridge interrupter was also tripped, it prevented a second cartridge feeding. But as soon as it was pumped back, the action arm worked its way onto the sear in the trigger assembly, pushing the hammer back, cocking it. So it is now cocked in this state. Now, all right, now we're going to pull the action arm back forward. This allows the bolt to push the cartridge forward into the chamber via the elevator assembly, pushing itself up. As you see, the action arm is pushing itself right into the perfect point. As you see, a little bit of malfunction due to this gun needing to be worked at a faster rate. See, bottomed out, and now it is chambered via the bolt face, pushing the cartridge in, and as you see, the extractor claw is now on the rim of the snap cap's rim. All right, now that the bolt face is right up against the chamber over here, the bolt's lock that is finally able to go up into the bolt's lock cavity that's right in here. Let me show you. We're going to push down the action arm lever right there. As you see, right over here, right over here, there's a little cavity for the bolt lock to go into right over there. Yeah, that's not for the cartridge. That's for the bolt itself. It's got a little lock on the top area, and it goes into it, keeping it from going anywhere. This locking arm, that's to keep the chamber from opening, but don't get those two confused. They're two different things. They got their own things going for them. This is the safety for us to open it. This is not a way for us to open. This just keeps it closed. Now, we're going to put this back in, by the breech. Now we're going to right back into the chamber. It is now locked via the bolt lock, and now we can fire this. Now, the trigger is going to trip the sear as well as the hammer, and that hits the firing pin, hitting the cartridge inside, which is, the snap cap in this way. Otherwise, there'd be a huge hole in my wall, and I would not be in good standings. Landlord would be mad. But enough of that. Anyway, after this, the gun is now unlocked, and the action arm is, you're able to pull it back. This slowly, as you see, the extractor is grabbed onto the cartridge. This is going to go all the way, there we go, about 80% of the way until it hits the ejector, which is a little piece of metal that is integrated with the receiver. That is going to, boop, when we are about 90%, but If we stopped at 90%, it would just fall right back in. Like this. See? You go too slow, it's going to malfunction. Bam, like that. Now, as you saw there, that is the 8 cycles of operation. All right, now part 2 of this video is what is my favorite interaction in the components to this? Well, I'd have to say it's the cartridge interrupter. The timing on it is very, very incredible. It would, if the timing is off on this, with the elevator assembly triggering the cartridge stop, releasing the cartridge, if the interrupter was not there in the back, it would just let out more than just one cartridge into the receiver, and just it would jam. So the fact that the interaction with the elevator is not only triggering both the cartridge stop to allow a cartridge to go into the receiver, but also triggering the cartridge interrupter from allowing it to have a second load going in, and then releasing as soon as the cartridge stop is back into place after it bottoms out into locking is just incredible. Christopher Spencer, as well as Sylvester Roper, and then John Mose Browning, making it even better. We are clearly on the shoulders of giants, and we get to reap the rewards, and the rewards are sweet. I'm Brandon Doyle. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.